talking about the best Steven Spielberg movies, but instead of doing a ranking style, we're doing this in a bracket where we're pinning all 31 movies in his filmography head to head. We're missing our favorite Sully and Mike hybrid right now. Hopefully, he'll join us in the discussion later, but we don't know for sure. But we are joined by a very special guest, a director I've worked with many times, Mr. Nicholas Alexander.
Hello! I am so happy to be here. I'm ready to talk about movies. Let's debate.
Oh, I just spilled alcohol all over me.
How does it feel to be an embarrassment to society? First round of our bracket, Ready Player One versus the Big Friendly Giant. How do we feel about this squad?
I'm all about Ready Player One, dude.
Yeah, I'm feeling Ready Player One.
I haven't seen the BFG.
So you're just defaulting to Ready Player One? And to me, the BFG was one of the most forgettable movies I saw in theaters. Although I don't like Ready Player One, at least it wasn't boring.
I think Ready Player One is going to be a movie that kids like that saw it at like maybe the age of like 5 to 10 years old are probably going to revisit it years later in high school and be like, oh, I remember that movie. I really liked it as a kid. And then it's probably going to be like, oh, well, that was okay.
Oh, so like how we see Hook.
We get there when we get there.
All right, so Ready Player One moving on here.
Yeah.
Yep.
The next fight here, we've got Bridge of Spies up against The Post.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bridge of Spies.
I've never seen any of these movies, but from the trailers, I like Bridge of Spies more.
Remember that one shot in The Post where like the camera just went around in circles while Meryl Streep was walking in the backyard for like 5 minutes?
No, but I don't doubt that it happened. I think Bridge of Spies is a fantastic movie, and I think it's only going to garner more appreciation over time. But The Post is Oscar bait at its worst.
I haven't seen Bridge of Spies, but yeah.
Bridge of Spies.
Alden, Bridge of Spies work for you?
Yeah, I'm the first one to throw it up.
And up next, we got Lincoln versus Warhorse.
I'll go with Lincoln.
Horses are cool.
I'm going to go with Lincoln here, too.
I really like, what's his name? From The Office.
James Spader.
Yes, he's really funny in Lincoln.
Not really who would come to mind at first when I think of The Office.
Yeah.
I am so tired of the Black Eyed Peas. It's rock and roll for people who don't like rock and roll. It's rap for people who don't like rap. It's pop for people who don't like pop.
Yeah, I would say Blacklist or Ultron, whatever.
His performance in The Office was better than Ultron.
And that's why I think Lincoln should move on. We've got The Adventures of Tintin up against Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Got a Tintin.
Yeah, I'm 10-10.
Josh?
And what are you thinking there, Josh?
I don't know if I have the strength to defend Crystal Skull.
I think it would be stupid to go with anything but Adventures of Tintin in this case. Any action hero who has a dog as a sidekick kind of like elevated in my opinion.
I agree.
Because of that, it should move on.
We are moving on to E.T. versus AI, artificial intelligence. Where do we stand?
Oh, with E.T.
Yeah, E.T.
Mace, you defending AI?
Josh?
Josh?
Josh dead.
Sorry, okay, I'm back. What was the next one?
We're talking E.T. versus AI.
I ain't defending AI.
So E.T.'s moving on. Up next, we got War of the Worlds versus Minority Report.
Okay, this one, like War of the Worlds. Definitely War of the Worlds.
I think I really like the premise of War of the Worlds more than the actual movie. I think the movie's paced pretty well where it just felt like something was missing.
Like, I just love like a ton of those moments. Like the lightning comes down, like the aliens like basically ride the lightning into the earth and then just like come out of nowhere.
The sound design's really dope.
I feel like the visuals, though, don't hold up as good as, like, Spielberg movies that were made, like, a decade before. Like, the aliens are well-designed in War of the Worlds, but do they look as good as the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park?
I mean, I don't know. We always see them from really far.
And also, we're not talking about Jurassic Park, Nate. We're talking about Minority Report.
We get there when we get there.
Sounds like it's a 3-1. War of the Worlds is moving on. All right, up next, we've got Spielberg's airport movies. We've got Catch Me If You Can up against The Terminal.
Catch Me If You Can.
I like both of them. What I like the most in The Terminal is when, like, he gets the quarters. He starts just, like, getting as many, like, fucking burgers as possible.
The concept of a person stuck at an airport terminal and living there is really funny. It just has nothing on Catch Me If You Can, which, for me, is like an S-tier Spielberg movie.
And like, I'd rather see Tom Hanks casted alone on an island than I would at an airport.
Big facts.
We've got Saving Private Ryan up against Munich.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Matt Damon.
I think the amount of critical praise that Saving Private Ryan had in comparison to Munich is justified alone. And I think it's really the movie that defined like the modern war movie. The undisputed Saving Private Ryan.
Schindler's List is the Golden State Warriors of this bracket.
Schindler's List is the only Steven Spielberg movie that he won Best Picture and also Best Director for simultaneously. Schindler's List still gets a bye. Temple of Doom versus Jurassic Park Lost World.
Temple of Doom, dude. Temple of Doom. Because you don't have, what is it, a short round in Lost World.
You got Jeff Goldblum's boring ass daughter doing flips on a raptor.
Yeah, why the hell is he allowing Short Round to drive a taxi at age like 8? Like,
Hey, it was the 40s.
he just condones child labor like it's no big deal. And then when he liberates a bunch of child slaves, he still accepts Short Round for what he is. I don't know. Personally, Temple of Doom to me is the worst Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, I believe this was the first PG-13 movie.
No, it was the movie that caused the PG-13 to happen.
I thought Last Crusade was the first PG-13.
It was, actually. Temple of Doom was rated PG by the MPAA.
Imagine the scarred kids in the theater just like, we're seeing Indiana Jones, whoa!
I mean, but is it more graphic than the Nazis' faces melting off at the end of Raiders?
I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, like someone ripping their hand into your chest, just grabbing your heart while you can't do anything. Because with like Raiders, they just had to be smart and not look. That guy is strapped and can't do shit.
I think the problem with Lost World is that they took a entertaining supporting character that honestly didn't even have a lot of scenes in the original movie, and they made him the main character because he was the most popular out of the first movie.
Also, it doesn't have Newman.
I really like the minecart chase in Temple of Doom.
The minecart scene ain't shit compared to that bridge scene. That bridge scene is one of the best action movie scenes of all time, in my opinion. Jaws versus Jurassic Park, the first true fight of this entire bracket.
Okay, here we go. We're throwing punches now. Jaws.
I agree. I think I'm also going with Jaws on this.
I disagree. I'm going Jurassic Park.
Fuck you, Alden. I'm kidding. I love you.
For the sake of a fight, I'm going to go with Jurassic Park as well.
I'm not gonna lie. Jurassic Park. It's a dope film. However, and so it's like Jaws. Like he had to improvise. And he made like iconic, horrifying scenes that scared people to like go in the ocean. Not only that, it has amazing cinematography. Great performances with Jaws. It's like one of like the first one of the first ever like blockbusters.
The shark in Jaws is kind of one of the most slept on antagonists in film. When that shark finally bites the dust, it's one of the most satisfying like things ever in a movie just because of the buildup and how much that shark became a threat in that film. I guess this is the part where I say I think Jurassic Park is just all right. I think it's one of Spielberg's most overrated movies. I don't really like most of the cast. I think it creates an interesting world and the dinosaurs are cool, but that's all I get.
Where I think Jurassic Park succeeds better than Jaws directly is in its special effects and in its scope. And I think Jaws shaped the blockbuster in general to where it is today, but I think Jurassic Park shaped the modern blockbuster. And I think these definitely are Spielberg at two different points in his career, but Jurassic Park is the point in his career that is more relevant to this day.
Hey, you bring up a lot of good points. I agree with a lot of them, but you're wrong.
Alden, I need some backup. I need reinforcements.
Jury.
Fly, you fools.
The score especially, and definitely recently because of memes,
Holy shit.
Yo!
Did he just arrive?
The tiebreaker is here.
What's going on?
It cannot be.
Forgive me. I mistook you for...
Jory.
I am.
Jory.
Rather
Jory.
as you should have been.
Me and Alden are on the side of Jurassic Park, and Nick and Mace are on the side of Jaws. Where are you?
Oof, this is a hard one.
Yeah, what's it gonna be there, Jory?
While I do think Jurassic Park is a more entertaining movie, I think that it's easily Jaws that's the more important movie as far as Spielberg's own filmography goes. However, if I'm going to go with my gut on this one, I got to say I'd rather rewatch Jurassic Park than Jaws.
It sounds like a 3-2 to me.
I'm so sorry, Nick and Josh.
It's okay. I'm not mad, Jory. Just disappointed.
It was a good fight.
Jory, I'm really glad you're here. What happened?
It's my second day off of the week and I was sleeping.
You came when we needed you the most.
We thought you were dead.
I was basically dead.
Up next, we've got a Nate solo round, unless anyone else has seen either of these movies. We've got Always versus 1941.
Time to grab a drink.
I'm very interested in your take, Nate.
I will take 1941 over Always, and I think more people need to see 1941. Always is really bland and forgettable, but if you're going to watch a Spielberg movie with your mom on a Wednesday night, I guess Always is fine. We've got Empire of the Sun versus The Color Purple.
Wait, why did you need me back for this? I've seen neither movie.
Damn it, Josh, you didn't watch Empire of the Sun?
You hate black people and Asians?
Josh.
I hate Spider-Verse.
I hate Penny Parker and Miles Morales.
If I were to choose one, like I'd choose The Color Purple probably because of that scene. And but I have not seen Empire of the Sun.
I have seen Empire of the Sun, and I think that I'm still going to go with The Color Purple on this one, just from like a cultural standpoint. I've heard a lot more about The Color Purple, and for me, Empire of the Sun was one of those Spielberg movies that I was just like, this exists.
Where Empire of the Sun really thrives to me is in its cinematography and in its very simplistic story. It holds up a lot better. Whereas The Color Purple is a very dense and a very dramatic novel condensed into like a 2-hour-long movie. There's a lot of things that are kind of compromised, including character arcs and character development. But then Empire of the Sun, to me, is kind of like the hidden gem in this entire list. And I think if there was any movie I could recommend more, it would be Empire of the Sun. Empire of the Sun is really unique, and I can't think of anything else like it.
Empire of the Sun's legacy also ended up giving us Tropic Thunder, so that's something else for it.
Oof.
But you know what, Nate? Your speech was your points. I'll switch over my vote to you. Give it to Empire of the Sun.
We're talking Amistad versus Hook.
Hook.
I've always seen Hook, so I can.
Well, I do like Robin Williams.
Hook.
Hook got People's Choice Award for favorite comedic movie actress.
Hell yeah. The ones that really matter.
The people have spoken.
Raiders versus The Last Crusade.
Last Crusade. Woo! Sean Connery.
I'm going to parrot exactly what Nick just said.
I don't want to completely ignore Raiders here because Raiders is a fucking classic. It is a king of a movie. It's incredibly well made with so many iconic moments. But when I think of Last Crusade, I think of Spielberg at its best. He has a great cast with great chemistry between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. And this movie's also really funny, which I think is a really slept-on trait of Steven Spielberg. He has made some really funny movies.
Yeah, in almost all of his movies, he's got that comedic edge to him. Like, even in, we'll get there when we get there, but even in Schindler's List, like the early parts of that movie where you see Oscar Schindler just fucking around, like, I feel like that's part of what sells the horror later.
Yeah. Well, I'll bring that up later, but you're right. Even in Schindler's List, there were moments where I was laughing out loud.
Like, to me, it feels like The Last Crusade is a perfect marriage of the tones of Raiders and Temple of Doom, and therefore it feels more like the Indiana Jones that you think of whenever you imagine the character.
We've got Sugarland Express up against Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We're going to go with Close Encounters here because it is hands down the better movie of the two. We've got Ready Player One up against Bridge of Spies. 3, 2, 1.
Ready Player One.
Bridge of Spies.
Bridge of Spies?
Bridge of Spies.
So how many people said a movie they hadn't seen before over Ready Player One out of curiosity?
I did.
I did.
I did.
We've got Lincoln up against The Adventures of Tintin. 3, 2, 1.
The Adventures of Tintin.
Tintin.
The Adventures of Tintin.
Lincoln.
Lincoln?
I think Adventures of Tintin need to move on here. We've got E.T. Extraterrestrial versus War of the Worlds.
Oh no, it's E.T.
Yeah, it's E.T.
Yeah, it's E.T.
It's definitely E.T.
Not only is E.T. the better movie, but in the future when aliens come to Earth and they revisit this video, I don't want to be the one that says War of the Worlds is the better.
So if there's any two movies on this list that are more similar, it's Catch Me If You Can and Saving Private Ryan. Which one is better?
Can we just say Saving Private Ryan's moving on?
Can we just say Catch Me If You Can is moving on?
Catch You Can versus Saving Private Ryan. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can.
Saving Private
Saving
Ryan.
Private Ryan. I've been swayed.
Catch Me If You Can is moving on.
Go watch Band of Brothers, everybody.
We've got Schindler's List up against Temple of Doom. Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List.
Temple of Doom.
Oh no, Josh outed himself as an anti-Semite.
Jurassic Park versus 1941.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
I didn't see 1941, so I didn't want to vote.
We've got Empire of the Sun up against Hook. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Empire of the Sun.
Empire of the Sun is mine.
Empire of the Sun.
Fire the Sun.
Hook.
Last Crusade versus Close Encounters of the Third Kind. 3, 2, 1.
This is a tough choice.
Last
Last
Crusade.
Crusade.
Last Crusade.
We're building the final four right now. We're in the Elite Eight. I can't believe we've gone here without like a crazy heated debate.
Not yet.
We've got Bridge of Spies up against The Adventures of Tintin.
I am gonna go with Tintin on this one.
It's a really fun movie.
I really like it.
Agreed.
Tintin! Got E.T. up against Catch Me If You Can. Should we wait for Josh to get back from his beer run?
As much as I like E.T., that's another film that I just think Catch Me If You Can is just superior in its writing and its
E.T. is yucky and gross and scary, and I don't like him.
I think E.T. is a movie with a lot of heart, and it's one of the movies that kind of made me want to get into filmmaking in general. On its surface, it's a very, very predictable movie, and it's a very straightforward movie with its characters and its stakes. And there's so many movies that felt the need to rip off E.T. after E.T. came out, and still to this day, we get a movie like Abominable or some animated kids movie that is pretty much just E.T. but with a different monster.
I was gonna say Stranger Things. I was gonna say Stranger Things on 11.
11's E.T. You're not wrong.
11 is E.T. and the rest of the Stranger Things kids are the Goonies. Yeah, it's Goonies and E.T. mixed is Stranger Things.
E.T. has so many like iconic moments, and also like what Nate said, it's such a heartwarming movie. It made Reese's Pieces iconic and amazing. You know,
I do genuinely think that is the best product placement in all of film.
What about the McDonald's product placement in Mac and Me?
No, get the fuck out of here. Mac and Me sucks.
This is a 17-year-old kid having these major national, international criminal charges, and
Still ends up stealing like over $4 million, right?
it's a story that definitely needed that balance, and they picked the perfect guy, Spielberg. I feel like Catch Me If You Can is like the perfect type of movie for Spielberg to direct.
To me, Catch Me If You Can reeks Spielberg's style in a way that not like E.T. doesn't reek Spielberg's style. I mean, of course, it's one of his most iconic movies. The flying through the moon thing is like the logo for his production company. But I do think that Catch Me If You Can has a lot going for it throughout its entire runtime that, this is unfair to say, but that I remember more of.
I also think you could show Catch Me If You Can just about to anybody, and they will at least like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure E.T.'s the same way. It's one of those universal crowd-pleasing movies.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like E.T. I was gonna say E.T. would like people would like that more over Catch Me If You Can.
All right. I just find a lot of it kind of boring. And I really don't like the scene where E.T. is dying. Just all of the tents and all of the government, like everything.
That part is probably like the scariest part for me. I think that's the part that I saw and I was like, holy shit, as a kid.
I think that's just the perfect direction, though. That's exactly how you're supposed to feel. Yeah, because at that point in the movie, Elliot and ET have formed such a strong bond where he is being ripped apart from this alien that he has connections with is supposed to make you extremely uncomfortable. I think it was the first time a Spielberg movie made me feel uncomfortable.
If Alden doesn't have a vote, I don't know what we're gonna do because I think we're a little gridlocked here.
Well, I said Catch Me If You Can.
All right, so it sounds like it's a 3-2 to much of Nick and I's distaste.
Boo! This is fucking rigged.
Oh, trust me, Nick, I fight this fight every week. It is rigged. All right, up next we've got Schindler's List versus Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, dude. Jurassic Park.
All right, I'm with Nick. I'm on side of Jurassic Park here.
I'm on Schindler's List side.
I'm also on Schindler's List.
You already took ET from me, Jory. What else do you fucking want?
He wants Jurassic Park.
Didn't I take Jaws from you also?
I think it would be a flat out disgrace to have a great performance by Liam Neeson, not move on and have fucking Laura Dern just like mumbling her way through Jurassic Park that moves on.
First of all, yeah, you're right. Schindler's List is a masterpiece. But you know what? Are there fucking dinosaurs in Schindler's List? No, there's not. It's just
That would be wild.
but like Jurassic Park is better. It's more fun, entertaining. It's got dinosaurs. Jurassic Park.
The whole thing where it's sad, I think the last 20 minutes are really beautifully done in a really like positive way.
Yeah, Oscar Schindler did the right thing, but what shines through the story to me is the events and the history that surround it. So the headline that I read from the ending isn't as much like Oscar Schindler managed to save all these people, but the rest of this still happened.
And maybe even though maybe it isn't historically accurate, when he does break down and cry, it is emotional because the whole movie he is like that, and then you finally see some remnants of caring. I think is a really great characterization of the character in the film. Maybe it wasn't depicted correctly. I don't know. I don't know Schindler. It is a movie, and things are just not going to be expanded in any, like, these are examples in countless movies, so it's hard to argue.
Also, for me, if you want to talk about the significance of Jurassic Park, which personally I think the biggest thing going on for it is the advancement in practical and special effects. You could make the argument that Jurassic Park is more important for a film history standpoint, but I think Schindler's List is so, so, so important for a world history standpoint.
I'm sorry, but imagine watching Schindler's List the same age you watched Jurassic Park for the first time.
I did.
Wait a minute. Alden, what?
Yeah, no, I did. I mean, I kind of left. Trying to remember. Might have been like 9, 10. Yeah, for both of these.
What a double feature.
I can't put Jurassic Park above it.
Empire of the Sun up against the Last Crusade here. I'm pretty sure this is Last Crusade.
As somebody who hasn't seen Empire of the Sun, you guys have really sold me tonight, and I will definitely check it out in the future.
Josh, you need to watch Tintin tonight.
Yeah, for real.
This final four is wild. I'm really surprised by it, and I think this is really cool.
And we did it without arguing.
Until Schindler's List versus Jurassic Park, such a controversial stance.
Catch Me If You Can against Tintin.
I also love Catch Me If You Can, but I think I'm gonna go with Tintin.
Yeah, I'm going with Tintin.
Jory, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I know for a fact Tintin would not be Catch Me If You Can. It is my number one Spielberg film.
I know for a fact that Tintin has a shot at being your number one Spielberg movie.
If Tintin is higher than Catch Me If You Can, you're saying it's in like my top like 15 films of all time, Jory. You do realize this.
It is produced by Peter Jackson. It is directed by Steven Spielberg, and it is written by Edgar Wright. This is the Avengers of all great auteurs and directors coming together to make one adaptation of a cartoon from the fucking 1930s. into a modern day blockbuster, Josh. It is on par with some of the lesser Indiana Jones movies in terms of action sequencing, and set piece wise, it's probably greater than all four of them.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Definitely.
I'm also on the side of Catch Me If You Can, and I'm sorry if that's a surprise or a hot take to you guys.
No, that's okay. It could have gone either way for me.
This is literally going to be the same thing as the Jurassic Park argument.
Count on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Amazing characters, great cast. Great comedy modes like with the chair when the place is burning down. Oh, and he gets Hitler's autograph.
I saw that. That was like, how come nobody talks about this? I don't know. It really doesn't feel right for me to put anything over Schindler's List.
Schindler's List is a fantastic movie. I'm glad it made the final four, but this is a Spielberg bracket, a man that has made some of the most funnest blockbusters in the history of film. Schindler's List is a great movie on his resume, but I think when we're talking about pure Spielberg blockbuster fun, it doesn't get much better than Last Crusade. Last Crusade hits on those classic Spielberg beats perfectly when it comes to comedy, suspense, adventure, and characters. Nothing tops this to me when it comes to when we're talking about Spielberg in this Spielberg bracket.
And I think Schindler's List is going to be the movie that stands out as Spielberg's most important, but I don't think it can stand out as his best because he's made so many movies that I would call iconic.
I agree with the assessment that in the context of a Spielberg movie list, we should be going with something that is more evocative of his style.
These are all top tier films for me. I mean, three out of the final four are in my top 3 Spielberg films, and the way you guys talk about Tintin, these might be my top 4 Spielberg movies.
All right, so we've got Catch Me If You Can versus The Last Crusade as the top 2 Steven Spielberg movies. Now they're fighting head to head.
Guys, these are my top 2. I didn't think this would be the finals. I don't know what to do.
It has to go to Last Crusade.
Should the four of us go without Josh and have him be the final tiebreaker?
That sounds very dramatic. I like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like Nick is on Last Crusade.
I think I'm going to go with Catch Me If You Can.
I'm also going Catch Me If You Can.
Come on, Nate. You got to help me out here, bud.
I'm going to go Last Crusade. I don't know anyone who would really put Catch Me If You Can in like their top 5 favorite movies of all time, but I know plenty of people that have Last Crusade in their top 5.
Oh, what's the ending? What's the ending of Catch Me If You Can?
He ends up working with the FBI as like a fraud claims investigator to basically catch people who are doing the same thing that he was.
With Last Crusade, I love that ending so. Even though it's so simple of just them riding off into the sunset, I wish they ended it there.
Yeah, I really liked Last Crusade a lot. I finally watched all of the Indiana Jones movies. And Last Crusade to me was what I was waiting, because I really wasn't that sold with Raiders, which is why I dragged my feet on watching the rest of them. And then Temple of Doom was Temple of Doom. But to me, The Last Crusade was everything that I had previously thought of Indiana Jones as, and I loved it.
Personally, Catch Me If You Can is my favorite Spielberg movie, but the more we talk about Last Crusade, the more I'm very swayed, and I might need to rethink that. And I think for this bracket, when it comes to, I've said that Last Crusade is just the best Spielberg movie when it comes to all his aspects of filmmaking. With that alone, I think Last Crusade is a great contender to win it.
It sounds like it's Last Crusade, and honestly, I think it makes a lot of sense with the way that this bracket turned out for it to be Last Crusade. Thank you everybody for watching our Steven Spielberg all filmography ranked video. I had a lot of fun making this. Special thank you to our guest Nicholas Alexander for hopping on this discussion with us.
Dude, thank you for having me.
You know, we're gonna run out of ideas eventually. I'm thinking we'll have you on for like an 80s horror movie at some point.
Yeah, I need it. Like, when you guys do Terminator, I will definitely be on. I would definitely love to be on that one. And I was gonna say, if you guys ever do a John Carpenter, was it ranking kind of thing, or I was gonna say a bracket for John Carpenter, let me know, because I have a lot of stuff to say about
Leave
him.
us a comment below if you want us to look at your favorite Spielberg movie. I'm curious to see what everyone else's favorite Spielberg movie is. I think, you know, E.T., Jaws, a lot of them we ranked pretty low in this thing, so I'm excited to hear what the comments have to say. Thanks again.